Alright, we've got a weird little setup going on here, but here we are. I'm currently in my house coat and I'm makeup free because I said in a video like a couple of videos ago that I was going to talk about, why am I keeping this up, I don't know. I was going to talk about the fact that I'm doing online dating, so I thought that while I was talking about that I would just do a little kind of get ready with me kind of thing, because I haven't done anything makeup related for quite a while. So while I'm getting ready, I think I'll recreate a look that I did for a date that I recently went on, and while I'm doing it we can chat about the trials and tribulations of online dating. I'm sitting down inside my bed. The only mirror I have is this little one here, so this is going to be interesting. Basically, I have started online dating because, I mean, I'm nearly 32. I am single. I've been single for a long time. Basically, like, being a single parent, I don't go out, like, to pubs or anything like that. Like, I don't go out places where I can meet people in the real world sort of thing. So for me, the kind of way that makes sense to meet people is online. Now, I'm not saying I like it. I think the whole thing is really quite strange. This is all just my opinion, by the way. It's really strange because you start talking to somebody and you are immediately assessing them as a potential partner. There's no like just, like, you know, if you naturally meet somebody, then I don't know, you can just chat to them and it's not immediately about seeing if you're attracted to them or not. But in the case of online dating, it is. My brows are going to look really bold to begin with, but we'll get there. So the whole thing is weird because obviously you're immediately assessing somebody as a potential partner. And also I find that a lot of people that I talk to are immediately overly familiar. Now, I get that there's some people out there who use online dating just for like hookups or whatever, and that's fine. But it's the people who come off as kind of genuine people who, you know, you talk to them for a little bit, they get to know you, and then they start, you know, talking to you as if they actually know you in real life, and saying things like, "Oh, I wish you were here with me right now," or yeah, I wish you were here with me. I wish I was like cuddling you and all that right now. And that just makes me kind of go, oh, gives me the heebie-jeebies a bit, because I don't know you. Why do you want to cuddle me? You don't know if you want to cuddle me. I could be actually anybody. I find it really strange to be that overly familiar with somebody who you don't know. You don't know who they are or what they're like, and you don't know if you really want to be cuddling them, so why say that? I don't know. So there's that. So there's the guys that seem really nice and then get a bit kind of weird. Then there's ones who like immediately, straight off the bat, send you a dick pic. I've had that. There's ones who, you know, seem really nice for a few messages and then send you a dick pic. And then there's ones that don't send you, oh god, I look crazy with just eyebrows on right now. There's ones that don't send you a dick pic but like immediately say things like, "You on top of me." And I was like, no thanks, I'm good. So like don't be that direct. Unless somebody has said in their profile that they're there just for hookups, for something casual, then great, that's lovely, but I am not, and I've made that pretty clear. I did screenshot a couple of messages which I found quite amusing. I'll try and get them off my phone and put them up on the screen somewhere, but I'll just tell you what they are just now as well. So I got one from somebody, a 40-year-old guy, which is a bit older than I would go for, and he said, "Good evening. Are you mature enough to know that there is more to life's pleasures than vanilla?" Wow. What do you say to that? How do you respond to that? I mean, I didn't respond, I just ignored the message, as I've been doing quite a lot. Just ignore messages. But how do you even respond to that? I don't know. I think the way is not to respond. Or like, are there people who would respond to that? Would somebody go, "Yeah, actually, I am mature enough to know that. Let's do something not vanilla. Do people go for that? Is that a chat line that works? Then I got another one which, like, I knew immediately that, oh god, I'd look crazy. I knew immediately that this was like going somewhere that I was not interested in, but I thought I'd go for it anyway. So this guy just sent me a message and he said, fancy helping me with an experiment? And I thought, it's going to be something sexual, it's going to be something that I'm not interested in, but I just replied and I said, alright, I'll bite, go for it. And then he said this, which is exactly what I was expecting him to say. So he said, I'm looking to find out what it's like to have an online mistress / dom, someone to control me and someone I can worship. I mean, that's not an experiment, that's just what you want. Just come out and say that and then I can say no thanks. So like there's that element of it, which is, I mean, I kind of expected that element of it to some extent, because I knew that a lot of people were just there for hookups. By the way, I'm just going to use this Kat Von D 10th anniversary palette. I'm going to use the mirror that it comes with, so this will be fun. Also, while I'm just going to talk about makeup for a second here, this is a look that I did for a date. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, go kind of fairly natural and stuff for going on a date, which, fine, like if that's your usual, don't go crazy like and do some dramatic eye look if that's not what you usually do. So this, what I'm doing, is probably going to be fairly dramatic for some people, but like it's not really for me. This is something that I wear daily anyway, so it's kind of fine for me, because I'm not going to like do this dramatic eye look and then it not be the case that that's what I'm usually like. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you don't usually wear a ton of makeup, don't wear a ton of makeup. If you usually do, then go for it if you want. Just be yourself, essentially, is what I'm saying. And what is this shade that I'm using? Oh god, why have I lost the ability to hold things up? I'm using that third shade down just there. I just used the really pale shade under my brow. Now I'm using this as transition. Anyway, so yeah, so there's that element of online dating. I found that people get overly familiar. A lot of people are just there for sex, and that's fine if that's what you want. The other kind of type of person that I've encountered is the one that comes across as like really vulnerable and self-deprecating. And while I find self-deprecation amusing when used like as part of, if that's like your humour or whatever, like that's fine. I find it funny used in the right context. But if you are not being funny with it, like if it is just a case of low self-esteem, you know, you need to work on that. You can't try and like use that to pick somebody up. So I get some messages saying things like, oh, I know that I'm obviously not attractive enough for you, or you know, I'm really boring, blah blah, and just like listing a lot of negative stuff. And the way to make me interested in you is not to list everything that you think is wrong with you. Don't tell me your faults, because I'm not going to go, oh yeah, he's not really that guy. Like, don't try and make me respond to you out of pity. That, where this sounds like really high and mighty and like I think I'm amazing and, you know, and I don't think I'm better than anybody else. Yeah, I'm not going to be interested if you are telling me how crap you are and how you're not good enough for me. That just makes me go, well, okay, you're not then. I'm not going to say, no, don't worry about it, you really are good enough for me, blah blah blah. Like, no. Also, don't, like, I get sometimes really long messages that tell me everything about a person. So like they start, it's usually the ones that start saying that they're not good enough for me, and then they, by the way, I'm using Malice, this dark red colour. So it's usually the ones that say they're not good enough for me and everything, and then they go on to tell me absolutely everything about their life. So they tell me what their job is, what their hobbies are, you know, everything they like to do, all about their family and everything. And I mean, that is all things that I want to know, but that's things that I want to find out naturally in a conversation. I don't want you to come and tell me, everything about yourself straight off the bat. I want to ask about these things and find out, because that's what conversation is about, is finding out these things. So if you tell me all this straight away, I don't know what to ask you. Like, what are we going to talk about now? You've told me everything about yourself. Equally, I don't enjoy the messages where, but I'm going to zoom in a little bit here because I look really crazy from far out. Here we go. I don't enjoy the messages where people just say hi. I used to, I'm saying this like I've been doing this for so long. I've been on for about maybe a month or two. But I started out like responding to those messages with like a longer message. So if somebody just said hi, I'd be like, oh hi, what are you up to today, or hi, and then I'd look at their profile and maybe find out about what, like, their job or whatever, and then make an effort to mention that in a message. But if you haven't made the effort to say something more than just hi, then why should I research you and find out something about you to start the conversation? Like, do that yourself. Offer up some information, or check out my profile and then pick up on something that I like and talk about it. I look really crazy. This is one of those looks that looks absolutely crazy until the end. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm going to do like a kind of halo eye kind of thing. So I used a colour, as I said, like Malice, that kind of red shade for the outer and inner corner. I'm just blending it with this, what is this, a Real Techniques Bold Metals number 200, kind of flat blendy brush. I'm just trying to like buff out the edges. And then I'm going to put gold in the middle, which, as I've said, is probably quite a bold eye look for some people, but not for me. This is pretty much standard for me. I do looks like this. In fact, I've done this exact look during the day just for going to Asda. I haven't wet my brush or anything because I didn't bring any setting spray through to do that, but I could have done with wetting my brush to do this. Also though, I haven't done my foundation yet, as I've seen, because if I get fallout, I want to be able to wipe that up. I'm just putting that in the middle, and then I'm going to go in with that fluffy brush, which is like a Disney brush. I'm sure I've spoken about it before in like earlier makeup videos. But anyway, this is the brush that I just had the red on, and I'm just going to like try and buff around the edge because I'm not going for like a really structured halo. Just kind of, I don't want to say subtle because it's not a subtle look, is it? This looks like really not blended on camera, but I can tell you that it is more blended than you can see. So yeah, so I mean, as far as actually like talking to people on these apps, let me zoom you back out again. As far as actually talking to people on these apps, you definitely get like a mixed bag of people. I swipe left a lot, and I know that's like really shallow, but I think that obviously has to be an immediate attraction. And also, if your opening message doesn't really grip me, I just ignore it, which, I mean, it is harsh, and I know that like if it was me getting my message ignored, it wouldn't be nice, but I don't have time to be nice and respond nicely to every single message that I get, so I do quite a lot of ignoring. Yeah, so I mean, that's some of the guys that I get. I also, on some of the apps, not all of them you can do this, but on a couple of apps I can set my interest in men and women, which is frustrating that I can't do it in all of them. So the three that I use are Bumble, Badoo and Plenty of Fish, and I think it's Badoo is the one where I can set it to interested in both. By the way, this is a, what is this? NYX Slide On, Glide On, Stay On and Define Extreme Shine Eyeliner. That's like a mouthful. I'm just tightlining with this, which is gross. Also, I don't really like this pencil because when I sharpen it, it always has a sharp piece of wood. I've tried various different sharpeners and it just will not sharpen smoothly at all. Yeah, so only on one of the apps I can choose men and women, so generally I just put men because my preference is men. Anyway, the women who do contact me, every single one of them, not lying, every one of them that has messaged me, once I went and checked their profile, they all have been married or in a relationship, and they're all just looking for a partner for a threesome, which I'm again, not interested in. So I'm trying out this new eyeliner I just got. It's Kiko Definition Waterproof Eyeliner. I usually use the Poundland one, but I have found that like my eyes are sometimes quite watery, and I end up, oh god, why can I not talk and do this at the same time? And I end up with like the wing gone sometimes by the end of the day, or just smudged all over the place. So I thought I'd try this waterproof one. Now, I went into Kiko because it's inexpensive, but a lot of their eyeliners have like, instead of a proper brush like this one does have, they have like those weird kind of foam like tips, and I hate that, and I can't get on with a like felt tip pen liner either. Has to be a brush, which is why I like the Poundland one so much, because the little brush was like the right size and everything. So this one, I mean, I think it's kind of, that's alright, isn't it? This one has got like a similar brush to the Poundland one, but it is very, very thick. Maybe I got one thick and one thin. Oh god, I'm going to try and even it out. This is where it ends up in a disaster. So now that like the top section of my eyes are done, I'm going to do my foundation, and then I'm going to do the bottom of my eyes, and then mascara and everything. And yeah, I'll be beautiful. Moving on from actually talking to people on the app, I have been on one date so far, which, I mean, for using the app for a couple of months, I think that's probably, I don't know how it like averages out. Sorry, I'm using this Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation, but it's running out, so you're just going to hear it kind of like I'm trying to pump it out. Come on. So yeah, so I've only been on one date, and to be honest, the guy was pretty nice. He looked like he did in his pictures, he acted the way I expected him to, but I hate using this word because I don't think it's like a real thing, but I'm going to say spark. Let's just say attraction, right? Let's not say spark because I don't think that's a thing. But like, I just wasn't attracted to him, which is weird because from his pictures I thought I would have been. But it was one of those dates where you just can't figure out how to end it. Is that just me? Where like it's nice, it's going on, what's going on here? Like the date's going on well, you know, it's really nice, the person's nice, but it's just all a bit meh. Like not boring, but just not that interesting. So it was a bit like that, and it was one of those dates that kind of went on forever, and I didn't know how to end it. So eventually I was just like, oh, it's been like several hours of my life. I was just like, oh, I need to go, because obviously I have the excuse of having a child, so I was just like, oh, better get going, you know, get my child back. This is not the concealer that I want to use. Where's the one I want to use? Here it is. I'm using this Revolution concealer. This is not going to focus, is it? Revolution, you can't see it. Conceal and Define in C1. Yeah, so I was just like, oh, I better, you know, get going and everything. Be nice to see you, nice to meet you, blah blah blah. And then he spoiled the whole thing. Like, I think maybe I would have gone out with him again, like, because there was nothing. Maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe I was forcing things if I went out with him again. But maybe I would have, because he was like nice enough and everything. I would maybe have seen how it went and everything. But he went in for a kiss, and I wasn't feeling it, and I think I was quite obviously not feeling it. And so I had to do that kind of turn so he gets my cheek thing. And I just find that really awkward, because I just feel really bad, because obviously he thought that I was going to be like, that this was like a favourable thing to do. He thought that obviously I was going to be into it, and I wasn't. And so I had to turn and give him my cheek. And I tried like a couple more times during that date to do that. when I clearly was not into it, and that was kind of what sealed the deal for me and made me go, no, I really actually don't want to go out with you again. Because read the situation. I mean, if somebody clearly does not want to kiss you, don't keep trying to go in for one. So yeah, I was like, okay, bye. Like, I didn't say to him there and then that I wasn't interested because I am really awkward. So I got on the train, went home, and then later on, so like he texted me later on just chatting and stuff like, oh, that's me home, blah blah blah. And I was like, me too, blah blah blah. You know, had a nice time, you're a real nice guy, but I just didn't feel the connection or whatever like that. Now, in the past, I've had people just totally ghost me after dates, which is horrible, so I felt like saying that I wasn't interested and just like putting in it was the right thing. And to his credit, the guy did just kind of accept it. He was like, okay, that's fine, good luck, blah blah blah, whatever. Because it's horrible, I think, when somebody just totally ghosts you. I mean, when I was younger, I had somebody say to me that he was going incommunicado for a while, like immediately after our date, and I was like, yeah, you just don't want to speak to me, you don't have the balls to say that you're not interested. By the way, that was Milani Luminoso blush, which is basically the only blush that I use these days, because it's just a really nice kind of peachy natural blush colour. This is Gerard Cosmetics 1995, which I've had for quite a long time. We just won't talk about how long I've had this for. Okay, and then I just need to do, I need to use setting spray, but I'll go and do that in a minute. And then usually I would do mascara last, but I'm just going to do it now before I go and set because I need to leave. I'm using the Maybelline Great Lash. Sometimes I just question my skills. What am I doing with my life? This has been a really long video as well, and it's probably just me rambling. Hopefully I've managed to like edit. Hopefully I've managed to edit it together into like something decent, but who knows. I've also just realised I didn't contour. Let's do that quickly. So, I mean, I'm probably just not going to do this on camera, but I'm going to contour just using Kat Von D Shade and Light. I use this palest shade right here. Okay, I'll be back once I've contoured away this jibble area, and yeah, I'll show you the outfit that I wore. So since it was like a casual coffee date, I just wore this t-shirt from H&M. I wore a choker. I didn't wear this particular one. I wore one that was just a black band. It didn't have this part on it, but I like that one too. That's cute. Because also I can wear chokers now because my neck is not as chunky as it used to be, which is great. And then I wore this necklace, which I got in Florida. I got it in Hollywood Studios. If you've been to Disney, there's a little stall just outside the Indiana Jones show, and they sell necklaces. Recently, over recent years, it's become like a lot more kind of generic necklaces, but sometimes you find a little gem like this one instead of just like the regular kind of quartz or kind of more generic necklaces. Anyway, so yeah, so I wore this, and then I just wore some black jeans, and I turned up the ankles, and then I just wore some flat white kind of Converse-y looking shoes. So yeah, I mean, as for hair, my hair is really thin, and also I don't really know what I'm doing with it, so I just put some mousse and some Lush R&B kind of balm stuff in it to stop it being crunchy with the mousse, and just dried it like various different ways so that it had a bit of volume. Straightened the lengths of it slightly. Why does it look so uneven? Probably because I cut it myself. That's probably why. Just kind of straightened the lengths of it and left it like this, because this is as good as it gets for my hair, quite honestly. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that kind of rambly get ready with me style video. If you've got any kind of strange dating stories, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I know that was a bit weird and different, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time for whatever type of video takes my fancy, because apparently that's what I'm doing now. What is my outro going to be? Like, I never have an outro. Why? what does everybody say at the end of the videos? See you all next time, bye. See you all later, bye. That's Christine, isn't it? Okay, I'm not Christine. Okay, bye.